The most dangerous person in any room is never the one who knows the least. It's the one who knows the least and has absolutely no idea. Because the person who knows they don't know something will ask questions, will listen, will pause before making a decision that affects everyone around them. But the person who doesn't know and doesn't know they don't know will walk into every room, every conversation, every position of power with the unshakable confidence of someone who has never once been forced to confront the ceiling of their own understanding. And you have met this person. You have worked for this person, argued with this person, sat at a dinner table with this person while they explained something with complete authority that they were completely wrong about. And the most unsettling part wasn't that they were wrong, it was that no amount of evidence, no counterargument, no gentle correction even slightly dented the absolute certainty radiating off them. That's not just an annoying personality trait. That is a documented, studied, deeply fascinating psychological phenomenon, and understanding it will change how you see intelligence, confidence, and the people around you in ways you genuinely won't be able to unsee. In 1999, two psychologists at Cornell University named David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger conducted a series of experiments that would eventually become one of the most referenced studies in all of modern psychology. They tested people on logic, grammar, and humor, measuring their actual performance, and then asked each participant to estimate how they thought they did compared to everyone else. The results were not subtle. The people who performed in the bottom quarter consistently believed they had performed above average. Not slightly above average, significantly above average, while the people who actually performed best consistently underestimated how well they had done relative to the group. The worst performers were the most confident and the best performers were the most uncertain, and this was not a coincidence or an anomaly. It replicated across every test, every subject, and has since been replicated across dozens of studies in countries around the world. This became known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it describes something about human cognition that is deeply uncomfortable to sit with once you fully understand it. The same skills you need to be good at something are the exact same skills you need to recognize that you're bad at it. Read that again slowly because it is the entire key to why this phenomenon exists and why it is so resistant to correction. If you don't know enough about a subject to perform well in it, you also don't know enough about it to accurately assess your own performance, which means the gap in your knowledge is completely invisible to you, not because you're hiding from it, but because you genuinely do not have the cognitive framework yet to see it. It's like asking someone to spot the errors in a piece of writing in a language they don't speak. They will look at the page and see nothing wrong. Not because there are no errors, but because they lack the reference points to identify them. Incompetence at a deep psychological level is self-concealing. And this is why the person who has read 3 articles about a subject argues with the person who has spent 15 years studying it. Not out of arrogance, though it looks exactly like arrogance from the outside, but out of a genuine inability to perceive the distance between where they are and where actual expertise lives. They have climbed just high enough to see a view and genuinely believe they can see everything from there, unaware that behind them is a mountain range they haven't even turned around to look at yet. Now here is where it gets even more psychologically interesting, because the Dunning-Kruger effect is only one piece of what's actually happening inside the mind of someone who is confidently, consistently wrong. There is a second layer underneath it called intellectual humility, or more specifically, the absence of it. And this is where personality, identity, and ego enter the picture in a way that makes the problem dramatically harder to fix. For most people who are stuck at the peak of what psychologists call Mount Stupid, the early stage of learning something where you know just enough to feel like an expert, their confidence is not just a cognitive error, it is also an identity. They have built a self-image around being the smart one, the one who figures things out, the one people come to, the one who always has an answer. And that identity is now so embedded in how they see themselves and how they relate to the world that any challenge to their knowledge stops feeling like information and starts feeling like an attack. This is why facts don't work on them. This is why the more evidence you present, the more defensive and entrenched they become, because you are not debating a topic with them, you are threatening a person, and people don't respond to existential threats with curiosity and open-mindedness, they respond with armor. Psychologists call this identity protective cognition, the brain's tendency to reject information that threatens the belief central to our self-concept, regardless of how well evidenced that information is. And it explains something that has baffled rational people throughout history, why some individuals can be presented with overwhelming, irrefutable evidence that they are wrong and walk away more convinced that they were right than when the conversation started. The argument didn't change their mind, it triggered their defenses, and their defenses don't care about logic. But here is where this conversation has to get honest in a way that most people are not prepared for, because everything described so far has been framed as something that happens to other people, and that framing is itself a symptom of the exact phenomenon being discussed. The Dunning-Kruger effect does not only happen to unintelligent people. It happens to all people in the specific domains where their knowledge has a ceiling they haven't reached yet, which for every human being alive is the vast majority of all possible domains. You are an expert in almost nothing compared to the totality of what there is to know. And in the areas where you are not an expert, your brain is doing the exact same thing, generating confidence that is not proportional to your actual competence, constructing a sense of understanding that feels complete even where it has significant gaps. The research actually found that truly intelligent people with high general cognitive ability, are not immune to the Dunning-Kruger effect. They are simply better at recognizing when they are in unfamiliar territory and adjusting their confidence accordingly. Intelligence is not the cure for intellectual overconfidence. Intellectual humility is, and intellectual humility is not a personality trait you either have or you don't. It is a practice, a daily discipline of holding your own certainty lightly enough that new information can actually reach you. The most genuinely intelligent people you have ever encountered were probably not the ones with the loudest opinions and the most immediate answers. They were probably the ones who paused before answering, who qualified their certainty with phrases like "I think," or "from what I understand," or "I could be wrong about this." Not because they lacked confidence, but because they had developed enough genuine expertise to understand that expertise and certainty are not the same thing, and that the more you know about something, the more clearly you can see how much remains unknown. That quality is rare. Not because it is difficult to understand, but because the social environment most people grew up in actively punished it. We reward confidence in schools, in workplaces, in social groups. Loud and certain gets the grade, gets the promotion, gets the attention, while hesitant and nuanced gets talked over, overlooked, dismissed as weak or uncommitted. So people learn very early that performing certainty is more valuable than having it. And then they spend decades perfecting the performance until they can no longer tell the difference between what they actually know and what they've convinced themselves and everyone around them that they know. The solution, if there is one, is not to attack the overconfident people in your life, because as established, that makes everything worse and changes nothing. The solution, psychologists suggest, is to create environments, in your home, your workplace, your relationships, where being wrong is not a threat to someone's identity, where saying, "I don't know," is treated as intelligence rather than weakness, where curiosity is celebrated more loudly than certainty. Because the only people who ever genuinely expand their understanding are the ones who are willing, even briefly, to sit with the discomfort of not knowing. And that discomfort is only bearable in an environment where it is safe to feel it. And on a personal level, the single most powerful thing you can do for your own intelligence, your own relationships, and your own ability to navigate a world that is genuinely complex and genuinely uncertain, is to become someone who is more interested in being accurate than in being right. Those two things feel like the same thing from the inside. From the outside, they produce entirely different lives. If this gave you something real today, share it with one person who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Daily Dose of Knowledge, because this channel exists for the people who actually want to understand themselves.